Hello.
Hola.
Hi, Primas. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
And Merry Christmas. No.
Yeah.
All the things. All the
Yeah.
things. So we're back. I'm Clari.
And I'm Kristi.
And
And
this
this is
is
Dear
Dear Primas.
Primas.
Hello. Just a disclaimer. Just, we're, again, easing back into it.
Yep.
So
Yep.
if we're a little rusty, give us some grace. But we're ready. And
Mhm.
yeah, it's what's been going on. What's the 411?
Other than it being, obviously January, feel like it flew by. What One Prima is in Miami. If you have not listened, One Prima in the past episodes, One Prima is in Miami, One Prima is in Texas, or one is in Florida and one is in Texas.
Yeah.
I should say. And this is a true first of many that we will continue recording this way.
I know. We couldn't. It was just so hectic. Getting here, all the things. We'll catch y'all up with, just a little chit chat on that of how like crazy time goes by and it's insane. But yeah, like I guess we're not bi-coastal. It would sound cool if we could say that, but I don't think that's. We're in different states. So yeah, the in-person ones will definitely be few and far in between, but
Yeah.
this had been, just what worked for us for the last couple months anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just glad that we can keep it going because
Right.
it's needed. It's
Yeah.
needed. This is like
Yeah.
I don't journal, and this is like it. So
Our outlet. Yeah. I was telling
yes.
Claudia, so before this, was asked by a friend group, like, oh, what is, you do a podcast. What is it about? And I kind of like stumbled on how to describe it. So we wanted to use this time to kind of describe what Dear Primas is, for the Primas that are new, for the Primas that are, OGs, just kind of what it is for us, for why we're doing it, for, to bring in more Primas and to hopefully continue on this route. And it really is like an outlet. It is, in a time where we are obviously first and foremost wives, and we are both in the season of motherhood, um, where for me, I feel like sometimes motherhood, especially early on, felt when it could be the loneliest part of, times. Um, to me, this seems like a place where if you didn't have a prima, we are your primas. And we just knowing like what our experiences are through, being in relationships, being now moms, that you aren't alone in how you're feeling and what you're going through, and just in life in general when you think it's going one way and it goes the complete opposite. For
Yeah,
me,
for
that's
sure.
what I think Dear
Yeah.
Primas.
And I think so, like, just going on this is a new year for us, like in general, right? 2026, but also as our podcast, a new year for us. So I think it's only right that we revisit like our mission statement, like who we are
Wow, look at
and
us with the mission statement.
and like yeah, like when we started this versus where we are now, not versus, not we're not comparing, but like where this podcast has evolved to. And I think at the beginning, like we were, we wear as women, right? All women, no matter what kind of womanhood you're in, we wear a lot of hats all the time, constantly. Then you add in being a wife, then you add in being a mom and working and, all the things. No matter what it is that you're doing, no matter what season of life you're doing, I feel like women are constantly multitasking to the max. So I think when we started this podcast, we knew where we wanted it to go, but we also, I think, we're trying to spread ourselves a little too thin. And like we found ourselves like being, oh my gosh, is this too much mom content? Is this too much of this?
Yeah.
But the more we talk about it, and it's just like that's who we are and that's where we are right now. That's like the main focus in our lives. And, like I've said before, we've said we get a lot of feedback from other moms, primas that are moms, and it's always like, "Oh my god, thank you so much. I'm so happy I'm not alone.
Yep.
I'm not the only
Yep.
one going through this." Or,
Right.
"Hey, could you talk a little bit more about this?" Or, "Thank you for being so open." We've had
Mhm.
so many primas that were, like, on the verge of becoming moms, and they're like, like, we help them ease into it, and as much as I think we try to be raw and real, but we're also talk about, like, how much we enjoy it too. So it's you're getting all sides of it, not just the sugar-coated side, not just the, "Oh my god, times are tough," you know? Um, all that to say that this is definitely, I think, become a community for primas that are moms, and just like Chrissy said, if you don't have someone in that current season of life, because I feel like even if you have older kids, it's harder to remember the
Yeah.
trenches, the
Yep.
hard times when,
Yeah.
are they're not sleeping through the night, like,
Right.
it's every evolution goes by, and then enough time goes by that you kind of forget how it felt in
Mhm.
that moment
Mhm.
for the most part,
Mhm.
you know?
Right.
So, even if you do have that community around you, but maybe they're not in that same time lapse of, time frame, I think we are both representations of that. Chrissy has older ones, and then we have ones that are similar to the age, and then I have
Yeah.
a younger one. So, I think that's been something that we've been able to lean into and really appeal to a lot of our mom primas or primas that are moms. Um, and yeah, we just need a vent, and
Yeah.
and, I think that's, like, building that community and getting those messages, I
Mhm.
really feel has been what our goal is. I don't know, like, we've been encroaching on that goal, like,
Right.
we're doing what we need to do to,
Yeah.
like, what we wanted to do. It's
Exactly.
happening
Yeah.
before whether we know it or not.
Right. Yeah.
And so that and all that to say that, like, when we talk about the husbands and we talk about things that conversations we have, conversations we need to have, we should have had,
Mhm.
um, and then also our personal interests, and we love our reality TV, like, that's all the extra stuff, but I feel like we wanna be community driven. We want to draw in those who are in the same similar season as us, just to be someone y'all can like a comfort
Yeah.
show,
Yeah.
like, let
For
me
sure.
I had a hard day. Let me listen to this and see, like,
Right.
what's going on,
Yeah. Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
So
I agree. I agree. It's like a
so
brunch.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. So we talk I think that's if someone were to ask me what it's about, it's a lot about mom stuff. It's the
Mhm.
motherhood. It's what we experience, the real, the raw, the sweet stuff, and then everything in between, because that really is like what we go through and who we are. And so, yeah, I think I think our initial episode, or when we talked about what we wanted this to be, I think we've gotten there. And I think
I
we've
agree.
refined it. We've leaned into who we are, and I think that's a good thing. I don't think that's something that we need to, like, because we were hesitant, at first. We didn't want to overkill or overdo it, but that's just where we are.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but yeah, we talk about fun stuff too. But but for the most part, we're here to build a community of moms.
Primas
Yeah.
that think the same way that, we're pretty vibey. We wanna vibe.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Yeah.
if you think of a prima that, shares the same vibes and is experiencing kind of, something similar to what you're listening to, then share us with a prima.
Yeah, yeah, we welcome the new primas. Now, we're here 2026. Like Chrissy said, I am in Florida. We are 90%, I would say, settled, probably 95, honestly. Um, but like getting into the routine of things, I mean, we've been here for 2 weeks. So, it was a time to get here and doing all the things. But now we're here, we're ready. And yeah, for real. So, yes. So 2026, let's get
Yeah.
into it. What's
Yeah.
been happening these 2 weeks?
You
You want me
know,
to
I
s
feel like yeah, you can start, but I was gonna say I feel like you know how every year it's like, okay, I want to write down our what I want to look forward to this year, or like the goals and the um I don't know that I did that for myself. We did as a family, and that was really nice because I think John is to the point now. He's 8. Now, John's my oldest if you're a new Prima. And then we have Jaden 6 and then Bella 2. But like as a family, we just kind of went through and we're like talking about what our we had John had printed off these like sheets of just like what was your favorite memory of the year? What are you looking forward to in 2026? And what do you think your word of the year is? Like we did that as a family, and that was really nice. It was really sweet to hear what their favorite memories were. And it opened, like John and I were talking about it after, it opened our eyes to see like obviously they remembered the South Padre trip. That was like one of their favorite
Mhm,
times. And, he was like, we just need to, those trips that are spontaneous, that are just like very last minute. We did that for Jaden's birthday and we were like, last minute thing. We need to remember we can do those more often. And,
mhm.
maybe we get the opportunity this next year to really make sure like, okay, we have a 3-day weekend, which this weekend we did, and we're not doing anything, but we have a 3-day weekend coming up in March or in April, whatever. Let's plan something like that for us to do.
Yeah,
So,
that's
but I
nice.
was going to say, yeah, as a family, we did that. But as for myself, I didn't really feel a desire to do that.
Yeah, which I think we kind of, like I think we touched on that last year
Okay.
of our New Year's episode, kind of like, we're not really, like, the vision board-ish,
Yeah. Yeah.
like and maybe I don't know. I think I've done one in the past. I did, like, a digital one with, like, a group, and, like, we kinda talked about things, and,
It's fun
you
to
know
do. Yeah.
it is, but I feel like for the most part, even when I did it then, it was more, like, long term, like a 5 not 5-year plan, but, like, just things that I envision in my future. It wasn't like, I need deadlines, I need to do
Right.
this,
Right.
and which there was that one TikTok that I had sent you that, we could still maybe do and think about for next episode. Like, I think the pressure to come up with goals and do all the things for January 1st is a lot, and sometimes getting through the holidays
Is
in
enough in itself.
itself. Yeah. So
Mentally
honestly,
exhausting. Yeah.
let's just say February 1st
That's
is when the new year starts, because honestly, January and, I think all the Capricorns will know how I got there on my Capricorn TikTok, but I had no idea that y'all felt this way. No, but they're just like, our birthdays, like, yeah, everybody's exhausted
yeah.
from Christmas, Christmas Eve, New Year's, like, all right, now we got a birthday to celebrate again, like, I was on that side, but it's like, it's so true. There's just so much happening at one time that you're like, you make it to January, and you're like,
Yeah.
exhausted,
Right.
so
Right.
this is like, I don't know what the word is, but this is January's like a soft launch into the
Yeah.
new year.
I like that. I like that. We're gonna go ahead and just, go by that.
Yeah.
Soft
Yeah.
launching into I
Into
like that.
February's when it starts, okay? And then February is short and sweet, and then it really just starts rolling by, so it's
Yeah, pedal to the
crazy.
metal. Yeah.
Yes, yeah, but just I didn't go back and look at that video, so I don't wanna go too much in depth,
Oh,
but I did
yeah.
like the way that they talked about, like, just setting, like, not quarter it wasn't like quarterly goals, but it was, like, be spontaneous, or, like, something that you want to, like, one attribute that you wanna work on, or, and it kinda built upon it to build different things, and I'm like, that's something that's, like, because I'm really big on, like, if you're gonna do something, it should be something that, like, is gonna make you a better person, one, also, and but also something that you're not just doing it for the year, like, you're doing it to, like, grow, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think, um, that's, like, my thing with, like, dieting and exercising and all
Mhm.
the things, like, I want to exercise to be, like, healthy and be able to function when I'm older, right? Not just, and yeah, looking snatched would be great, but also, like, it's just, like, let me build habits, right? Or let me
First.
build
Yeah.
something and make it attainable to my lifestyle. Am I going to get on, like, the Whole30, the 75 hard,
The
all that
75
stuff?
hard is yeah. Yeah.
It's a lot, and
It's
it's
sure.
great, like,
Yep.
for those that can just, like, may I know me, and I just
It's
probably
a
don't
different
have
kind of
that kind of
discipline.
discipline. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
but I also like to enjoy, like, if we're gonna go out to eat, which doesn't happen, well, now it happens a little bit more because everything's, like, right here, but, it's just, like, I still wanna enjoy my life and enjoy
Right.
things that I want to do, but I need
Right.
to, everything in moderation, and I think that's how I've kind of thought about, like, the whole New Year's resolution things and thought of it in that way, not saying that I've put anything into action, but, like,
Right.
if I'm gonna set something, I think that's kind of what I would want it to do.
I like that.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
that's
if
a
you think
little
of something on the top of your head, what would you say?
well, so, like, this for me, it would be, like, being more active because and I think where we are now is
Gonna
definitely
force
pushing
you to.
me to
Yeah.
do that,
Yeah.
and it's not in a sense of working out because, we have a lot of just things happening right now, so maybe I can't go to a gym
Sure.
right
Yeah.
away.
That makes sense.
Eventually,
Yeah.
I'll get there, but, like, literally, I was telling Adrian, I'm like, "Look, I need to figure out a way at least 3 to 4 times a week, I need to have breakfast prepped because we're breakfast like, we eat a good breakfast,
Yeah.
and then, like a snacky lunch, not a lunch, and then we have a good dinner. But I'm like, breakfast takes so long. He works from home
Mm,
most of the time. Now he's, has more meetings and whatnot, but I'm like, I get up and, of course, dealing with 2 kids and making actual like, eggs
with
and
the
bacon
breakfast.
and
Yep.
potatoes and then, like, making a good breakfast every
Yeah.
day. I'm
Yeah.
like, "It's 1 hour and 45 minutes into my morning, and I'm
Yeah.
still, like, in the kitchen," and I'm
Yeah.
like and at that point, it's like, "Okay, now Antonio's, like, on the cusp. If we leave, he's not napping, and I need a
Yeah.
nap." Like,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah. Yeah.
like,
Yeah. You're
we
relying on
got
that. Yeah.
yes, with 2 of them, he needs a nap, I need and so, I'm like, I want to have something ready to just heat up egg bites, something, quick hash browns, throw them in, but with the egg bites, like, I want to have that prepared at least 2 to 3 times a week so that those 2 to 3 times we can get up, eat, and
And
go,
go
and
out
I
the
want
door.
to
Yeah.
have my walk in the morning when it's like, it's like, feels so good outside here,
Mhm.
take Antonio to the playground instead of taking him at, like, 4:30 or 5 o'clock, which
Yeah.
we can do both, right?
Right.
But I'm
Right.
like, I want to take him and get the day started, for
Yeah.
him and myself, so he's
Yeah.
not going stir crazy because the tantrums,
Yeah.
have hit, it's a
Yeah.
lot. So I'm like, I wanna get moving. I want to have, like, maybe walk a mile, It's like,
Mhm.
let's
Mhm.
start with a mile. It's so
Yeah.
easy to do. Today
Yeah.
we walked, like, 12,000 steps,
Yeah.
it's like or have, like, that 10,000 count minimum, like,
Yep.
start like that because it's
Yeah.
so easy to do here. Everything's, like, in walking distance,
Right.
and I just need that for my mental health too because in these last even though it feels like forever, feels it's only 2 weeks, but
Yeah.
like, it's just a lot, and I'm like, "Okay," but when I finally get outside, I'm like, "Oh my god, this is so nice, this is
Yeah.
so great,"
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
the kids act better, everything's just better. So I'm like, if I can do that as early as I can in the morning, like, not talking about no, like, 7 o'clock, but, like, if
Right.
I can get
Right.
out the door by, like, 9 a.m. and have
Yeah.
a whole walk, exercise, Antonio plays, we come back, he takes a nap, they both take a nap,
Yeah.
beautiful,
Right.
wonderful, you
Right.
know?
Ideal.
S so, being active overall like that, right? And then I guess my second one would be getting out the door, like, getting
Yeah.
up and getting out the door, and I think those go hand in hand?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, for sure, that's something that, I am going to actively be working on, and now that, like I said, everything is kind of more situated here, I think that makes it, like it's I can focus on that now because I felt
Right.
like I'm
There were
just,
still so many moving parts, and it was
yes.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I like that. I like that a
yeah.
lot.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about that today, like, just the romanticizing workouts at your own house or not having to have to rely on the gym or like the walks I think do wonders, especially like we started doing that well because John kept getting the notes that he was too active, so we were like, well, we'll just walk to school. I'm not a cold person. I don't like the cold weather, so when the temperatures drop below 65, you won't catch me outside. I will not be walking outside. I don't like walking outside. So I've been
Mhm.
trying to figure out like what does my winter active look like?
Mhm.
Especially on the days that it is cold and muggy and I don't want to go walk when it's windy AF.
Yeah.
On top of being like, 50s, which when the sun is out in 50s, that's not bad. But anyways, winter, what's my winter active look like? And I was like, well, why don't I just pull on like a YouTube, the Izzy Pilates and do that and I can feel a little bit, like I didn't do my morning walk that we normally do, but I did do something to be some sort of active. So I
Mhm.
I like the same thing because I think it does do wonders on your mentals when you are
Yeah.
when you take just some sort of like 30, 25. I mean, it doesn't have to be the
Yeah.
40 minutes obviously, but just some time to do something for yourself.
Mhm. Mhm.
Active something being active has always done to me. I feel like it just starts my day off way better.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so I think that's, that's where I am with that for sure because it does like I think it really really does. And I have a hard time with the consistency of it, but I feel like I'm just so determined and just so
Yeah.
just ready for that.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Well,
and
and I
being
think
here helps. Like I
exactly.
said, the
Right.
weather, like it was cold. It caught us by surprise today. This whole week was like rainy and colder. Yesterday was hot, and then today we went to that little so the national championship for the
Football,
college
college football.
football is here in Miami. So Indiana's quarterback is Cuban American
I think
from
he grew up in
Miami.
Miami. Yeah.
Yeah, from Miami, and then, the
Obviously, Miami's
Hurricanes,
in the
yeah,
yeah,
Miami
playoff.
U.
Mhm.
Um, so, like, a lot of it like, you hear is so funny because we were at a little, after the dentist, and we went to the park, and then I'm like, "You know what, we're starving." Me and Antonio and Sandy went to get, like, a little sandwich Cuban sandwich at this little corner spot that's, like, right by the beach. There was, like, then Adrian came we came and got Adrian, we went back and because Adrian's like, "I want a Cuban sandwich," and I was like, I didn't know when he was gonna hear. Anyway, we got back and there was, like, these tables in the back and they were talking about it, and one guy, he was, like, talking to his friend, and his friend, like, really I don't know if he was from here or not, but he's like, "I don't really don't do sports like that," but the guy was like, "Well, let me give you the tea." And he was like and he started saying, like, "The city is just whoever wins at the" if you're not, like, 100% invested in Miami you didn't go there, you're not alumni, like, the city is proud regardless
Right.
because, there's
One
that
of their own.
representation
Yeah,
on
yeah.
both sides. But you just hear, like, the chatter in the city, which is, like, just wild the timing that it ended up being and it's here and both
Yeah.
of all that is in it. So we did those festivities today. They had, like, the free stuff in the convention center down in
That's so
South
it
Beach.
looks so cool.
It was fun, and you know what? It was, like, not packed, the crowd was chill, the music was popping the whole time, like,
Yeah.
nothing but bangers or reggaeton mixes into hip hop. Oh my god, it was so great. And then, we left, and Adrian's like, "I'm starving," and so we drove to, like, Calle Ocho, which it wasn't, like, too far away, but anyway, we got some food there, and by the time, like, we got out of there, the sun had set. The sun sets, like, at 5:30 over here, like, our time.
Super early, yeah.
Super early, like 5:30, 6 by 6, it's dark, and,
Yeah.
it was windy, it was cold, we had to go to Dollar General and get Antonio a jacket. I was not prepared. We had our rain, like, windbreakers, that was all we had.
Yeah.
I had shorts, and we were, like, shivering. I checked, and it was, like, 64 or something, but the wind was crazy, and
Yeah.
it was freezing in our
Yeah.
opinion, but not like Houston freezing, but it was still cold. But the wind was it's nuts, and then, like, once we get back to where we live, like, we're right by the beach, and so literally, like, the closer we're 3 blocks away, but, like, those 3 blocks, the wind just picks up even more
Yeah.
and more, so, like,
Yeah.
that evening on Adrian was like, "It's really not that cold," like, another evening, he's like, "I'm just gonna, I'm gonna change my I'm not gonna put my jacket on, I'm just gonna wear my long sleeve, my shorts, whatever." And I'm like, "It makes a difference, that wind really picks up," and
Mhm.
sure enough, when we're walking, he's like, "Oh, yeah, I do feel it over here." But it was funny because I was talking to a guy in the elevator. I think I was like, "How do you feel about this weather coming?" This was on, like, Wednesday 'cause, everybody was saying, like, Thursday was gonna get so cold, like, 50s, which isn't, like, Miami Beach is like, "What? For you
Yeah.
50s? That's
Yeah.
crazy." And he's like, "I hate it." He's like, "Everybody hates it. We all hate it." He's like, "And I'm Polish." He's like, "I've only been here 2 years." He's like, "I'm from Poland."
He's already
He's like,
adapted.
and yeah, he's like, "And I hate it." He's like, "Everybody's depressed. Nobody wants to go outside." And it's so true. It's like nobody wants to go outside, and it's just
Seasonal
like
depression is real.
for like a week, right? And
Yeah.
then we're like, "Okay, it's over." But, but yeah, no, so that the cold got us by surprise for sure today.
Ugh,
But tomorrow's gonna be freezing. It's like high of 67 or something. Cold, not and cloudy, like, we're already adjusted. We've only been here 2 weeks. We're like, "Where's the sun?" Um, but yeah, so like, on Friday when it was warmer, the park was packed. Like,
popping.
everybody was there. Yeah, everybody was out and ready and trying to stay till the sun, because when the sun goes down, they
Everybody
close up
dissipate.
shop,
Yeah.
but everybody was trying to push the limits. The officer just kept walking by, but he wasn't saying anything, so I'm like, "Well, we'll just keep partying."
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I don't know what we were talking about, but just made me think of that, the weather. Then we think it's cold here, and I'm sure, like, it's way colder over there right now.
I don't know.
Um,
It was pretty cool. We started golf today, which tell me why we did all the outdoor sports in the wintertime. I don't know. We were literally dreading it, but we started flag football last weekend,
yeah,
which
how'd
is
that
it
go?
was so cute. Honestly, so he'd been begging, John had been begging us to put him in flag football. And John's like, "You don't need to play flag football. You need to put a helmet on and pads and play football." And I was like, I don't want my 8-year-old playing like
Yeah.
real football just yet. Not at 8.
Mhm.
So we settled for flag football. And, it was so cute. He loved it. He loved, like, he was quick on defense, like, just he's quick to grab the flags or whatever. But yeah, it was really fun. Jaden is kind of highly upset that he did not play. Um, he
He
was
had the
supposed
option or
he yeah, so we signed him up, but we didn't tell him we signed him up. And then last minute we were like, because they do the practice and then the game, they do practice an hour before and then the game right after, which I
mhm,
love. But we would have been there for 4 hours because Jaden's is
mhm.
like starting at 9 and then he plays at 10 and then John practices at 10 and then he's there at 11. And Saturdays we sign up for basketball too. So we have flag football, golf, basketball, and of course jujitsu on the side, but I don't know. What we were
Wow, they
thinking, no idea. But they
yeah,
love all of these. I
yeah,
think if they had a honestly, I think they love all of them. Then
yeah.
John would probably play flag football every single day if he could. Um, but we told Jade next year. He seems okay with it. He's playing with his cars the whole time and playing with Bella. He seems
Yeah.
totally fine. He's
He was just
not devastated.
a little bummed,
A
but he's
little
like, he
bummed,
got
but
over
he's
it.
got to earn his keep. He's got to next year.
Yeah, yeah, and it's good 'cause he'll, like, get the lay of the land through, like,
Yeah, yeah.
kinda like he has,
Exactly, with any other
with
sport.
everything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And I asked them the other day too, before we started all of them, I was like, "Oh, and then baseball." I didn't even mention
I
baseball.
know, I was gonna say,
'Cause
wait, is baseball, like, right now too, or
yeah, yeah,
that's
they had
wild.
it is crazy, actually. The schedules haven't come out yet, but right now we just have every Saturday flag football. But I was asking each one of them, I was like, "Okay, so if you had to give up one, which one would you do?" And they both didn't give me an answer, and I was like, "Okay, well, I'm not letting you play," I don't know what I said, "basketball next season." And he was like, "But that's the one that I wanted to do." And I was like, "Okay, whatever." So, I don't know. Well, he's all about flag football. He always says that now he's saying that that one's his favorite sport, but once he does basketball, he's like, "Okay, well, basketball is my favorite sport." And then whatever the
Yeah.
season is too of whatever is on. Um, so we will see. Ask me how
Yeah,
my
so
life
y'all
is
are
in
in
like a month.
full swing. I was gonna say y'all are in full swing, full swing. No time to think about anything.
Chauffeuring all the things.
Yeah.
But yeah. What else? What else? Primas, do your kiddos play sports and how do you handle chauffeuring and the pick up and drop off? I don't know. Where's it you that shared that Nikki was it Nikki no, Cardi B. Cardi B's TikTok with me about her son and
Mm-mm.
how she has him in, like, she was like, if we're not going to this, we're going to this. And then if if he's got time, he's being tutored by,
I
to,
think I no, I didn't send it, but I think I saw the at TikTok.
okay. Just something
Yeah.
about like he's always constantly involved in something and always just like keeping them busy with their mind, their body, like all the
Mhm.
things. Um, I don't know. I'm a big proponent of, keeping the kids busy. And obviously if they like it, why not put them in any kind of rec thing that
Yeah.
they can do? Um,
At what age would you say that, like, if you're like and I think we talked about or I brought this up before, but you won't have this problem because your kids are very athletic, but let's just say let's just say, what is the age when you're like, "You know what, sweetie? Why don't we try something else?" What age do you think?
like this might not be for you, sweetheart.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
so John had a come to Jesus moment with John because John's like, I want to play basketball and all the things in college. And John's like, look, John, I'm gonna have to be real honest with you, bud. Yeah, you probably won't be going far in basketball. And he was like breaking it down. And John's like, what do you mean? Like, what? And John's like,
Yeah.
well, this is my height. This is your mother's height. The odds aren't looking pretty good for basketball.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna need you to, that one you're gonna have to come have a real, heart
Yeah.
to heart with yourself when it gets to that point. Um, but yeah.
Yeah.
Probably, I'd say, like, probably in middle school. And
Middle school
middle
for
school, though,
sure.
like, I feel like,
Well,
though, that's the
I
fun
think
part.
yeah.
If you
Well
can, and they almost encourage it sometimes, some coaches at least, and back in the day, to
yeah,
play all the things, but
all the things.
if you're did I ever tell you about my interview whenever I tried to be the basketball coach?
Yes. The but you tell the primas. Prima or ask the
Oh.
primas the question, let's see if they know.
Oh, of what?
The dribble, like, when you dribble the ball wasn't that one the one you failed?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, ask the primas and then tell them.
So I went in to interview because, as a middle school coach, it's just easier if you coach all 3 sports. So I've never played basketball. I maybe tried out in 7th grade, didn't make the team. So I didn't have high hopes going in with the head coach for an interview to be the basketball coach. But she asked me to, and I was like, okay, sure. So I guess they asked me, I don't remember what the exact question was, but maybe they asked me how to dribble.
Mhm.
Maybe the easiest question you
Like
could possibly ask.
I I think when you told me you were like they asked you where do you dribble the ball? And it was like, do you on your knee or your hip or like knee height or hip height
Oh,
or something
okay.
like that.
Oh,
I
probably, yeah, probably very in depth like that.
don't know.
And I think I just went like, I don't know.
No, that's a
And the
double
head coach
dribble.
was like, "Oh god,
Immediate
tanked,
no.
tanked the interview.
Immediate no. That's
You were not
funny.
stepping foot near the basketball court." Yeah, because they took their basketball really serious, I guess,
Yeah.
in middle
Yeah,
school.
I would yeah. I would for sure say, like, okay, so 7th grade is when, like, they can actually try out for, like, the
Mhm.
team, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
If they try and they don't succeed,
Not
it could
everybody's
be
getting a
it could
medal. So,
yeah, no, and
yeah.
it could be a mixture of things, like, sometimes there could be, maybe you just got a lot of a competitive group. Let's put you in and something on the side to help build those fundamentals, and then let's try again 8th grade year. And if, push comes to shove and it doesn't work out, then I think or you as a and this is the problem, like, because a lot of parents are not also athletic or they don't know, but, let's say you sign them up to pay to play, right? You're
Right.
paying them to be on the team or whatever, private lessons. In my opinion, private lessons are I mean, they go a lot they work with if your kid really needs help, I feel like that's the route more so than putting them on a just throwing them on a team to throw them
Right.
on a team,
Yeah.
if they need that to improve. Anyway, but if you start seeing and you're like, "Oh, I see it. I see it." I just think after that, I don't know, you gotta find like, let's try XYZ,
Right.
because a part of like, I feel like a part of parenting is also like, life is going to be honest with them, and
Mhm.
you
Mhm.
cannot just, like,
Yeah.
just cover it up and then dish out all
Yes.
that money and, like, I guess if they enjoy it, I don't know, but me personally, I don't like doing things I'm not good at.
Absolutely.
Um, so
Right.
I don't know, but I think that's a funny thing, like, when
Yeah.
you just like you gotta be, real with
For
kids,
sure. I think John's
'cause
gonna be as real as it gets with
yeah.
both boys, and let them know, but I will be like, not.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, well, the thing is, like, they can right, as of now, they can do it, like, they're, like, in their age group that they're in, like, the
Sure,
basketball, they're
but it'll
they're
get to a point
athletic.
it'll get to a
Yeah,
point where there's somebody outworking you
yeah,
always,
yeah,
and, like, we talk about this all the time, they are in so much right now, but when it comes to the time where they do get to middle school, they get to high school, there will be people that have already narrowed in on that one sport,
mhm,
and they're working
mhm,
more hours than they are because they're so divided up. So,
true,
at what point do we say, like, "Hey, maybe we go ahead and, do pay the for the extra lessons here or whatnot."
mhm,
Luckily, at this point, John's pretty, well rounded in all of those sports where he's the
yeah,
one that's doing the, coaching of them, where we haven't had to go outside of that. But later down the line, when it gets to that
mhm,
point, are they going to actually be receptive of that? You would hope, right?
mhm.
Well, we'll see. But I guess I'll let you know when I get there.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and I think for them, for the most it might just be, the like, who gets cut, like, at the school because, like I said, I think the capability will be there, but we're and yes, hard work, like, they'll may get outworked, but at the end of the day, a lot of it is just genetics. They might
Yeah,
just be
yeah,
a little shorter,
yep,
and
yep.
especially with the boys, and I mean, yeah, I saw it all the time, like, there were these little guys out there in the basketball at the middle school, and they'd be
Mm-hmm.
hooping, they'd be, giving it their all, but they're like they're super
Two
small, and then
feet.
the
Yeah,
big
2 feet.
yeah, and then there's, like, a big tall giant that's, like,
Mhm.
still growing into his, what is it?
Learning how
The
to use his arms and
coordination
legs, yep.
exactly, yeah, but he's
Mhm.
just a big tree, so they
Yep.
just pick them instead, but
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. I don't know, pretty much my advice is be real with your kids and be real
Yes.
with yourself, and if you just try to find because it is important that their kids are involved in something. Adrian's mom was always like or he would say he's like, "My mom always said, we had to do something."
Mhm.
Whether it be, like, theater or, like, for his sister, she did theater or wanted to dance or they did dance and he was in band and he played, like, lacrosse, like,
Yeah.
do
Yeah.
something. And not
Yeah.
everybody's athletic, but you can be creative. There's
Mhm.
and a lot of high schools now, there's, like, a lot more options. And that's what I used to try to tell, like, the middle school kids is like, "Look, middle school, it's hard to find your way because there's so many limit there's or I mean, there's only so many options.
Right.
Like, you're very limited in your
Yep.
extracurriculars or the
Yes.
activities." I
Yep.
was like, "But you get to high school and
Mhm.
it's a whole new world, especially now." Like, I just came across a TikTok of, Channelview Press or something, and, like
Oh, that's
and and and
cute.
they're behind and one of them he was one of my old kiddos and he's, like, showing, like, the behind the scenes, like, in the press box and, like,
That's
how they
awesome.
like,
Like, the
all the
operations
things
of it, the whole behind the scene that's
operations
cool. That's
yes.
awesome.
And so, like,
That's
even
cool.
when we were there, they didn't have stuff like that, but
Mm-mm.
now, like, it's so much, so
Yeah.
much. But
Yeah. That's
anyways,
awesome.
I don't know how we got here, but you kids have New Year's resolutions goals too, I guess. Um, but
We are
yeah.
who we are, pretty much at this
Yeah.
point.
Yeah. Yeah. If you've been here, we kind of we
Eventually
go around.
eventually we land the plane.
Yeah. I think we got our message across and then we just
I
became
think.
chatty Cathy's, just segued into different things. Um, but I think that, I think that's a good one
Mhm.
for this episode.
Yeah.
Again, Primas, February 1st is officially the Prima New Year. So if you are in the same boat as us, this is another thing that
Come
you're not
along.
alone. Yeah,
No.
just join us and we have like 2 more weeks to get our minds right,
We
and
ride at
then
dawn.
yeah,
February 1st.
we'll be here. Soft launch. Um, yeah, well,
Big time. Well, This was fun.
Share us
Yeah.
with a Prima. And again, thank y'all for being here, and I do hope that, wherever you are in this year, in this season, that we just all continue to grow with
Mhm.
each other, for yourselves, and, just feel free to share anything that you want in the comments, guys. I think that's like should be a goal of ours this year, is to try to get a little bit more engagement with the primas, because
Yeah.
don't be shy. Don't be shy.
Yeah, talk to us.
Yeah.
Talk.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, until next time. Adios.
Adios.